What's up, guys? It's Mike with More Adrenaline Motors. This is the day after of Saturday night racing. And to say that I have lost motivation for the rest of this race season is kind of an understatement, really. Every time all you guys who race, you know how it goes. You spend hours and hours and hours working on your car, and then you go out there and pray to God that some idiot doesn't, totally just destroy all the work that you put in. But unfortunately, that's just kind of how it goes when you go racing. Specifically, I shouldn't say specifically, but definitely on dirt track racing. Everything is very unpredictable. There's so many unpredictable variables that are going to happen throughout the night. One is when you get a good finish in the heat race, you get a good starting spot, and then they go and they invert the field, and the idiots start at the front of the front of the pack, and then they can't even hold on to their own car and spin out and, cause a big pile up, which kind of puts an end to your night. So that's kind of what we dealt with yesterday. I'll give you a look at the car here once I get it fully unloaded from the trailer and kind of explain everything that happened. And yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's September 1st today, so don't have much to go as far as the race season goes, but I would have liked to. I still can. I was gonna say I would have liked to finish the season, but it's still a possibility. I can go out there and do a couple more races, but whether I want to put the dollars in it again and do all the work again right now just to go out there and potentially get it wrecked again, but I don't know. So I'll get it finished, unloaded from the trailer here, finish unloading it, and then I'll do a little breakdown of what happened. So stay tuned, and we'll get into it, guys. So here's a look at the car. Cosmetically, yeah, I've already started. So first off, I spent probably a total of 5 hours fixing the body from the previous weekend. Body aside, who cares? I can get new body parts, whatever. Obviously, you can get new parts for everything. So just order of events last night. I was at Crystal Motor Speedway in Crystal, Michigan. I don't normally race there. The last few weeks, I've just been kind of jumping around. I was second in points at Palo, known as Mid-Michigan Raceway Park. So that's where I was racing. I was second in points there. And I was going to finish out the season there, but I figured this is my first year with this car in the Pro Stock Series, and I wanted to try something different, like try different tracks and kind of see what the car liked. This car was formerly an asphalt car. I don't know exactly what it was, whether it was a Sportsman, a late model, I'm not sure what it was. It's a Howe chassis car. It was converted to dirt. They changed front clip on it and did some other stuff with it. Last night, I qualified third place in my heat race and started seventh in the feature. We had, I think, 17, 18 cars, something like that. The guy that finished last place in my heat, he ended up starting first place on the pole. So I think what they did was invert the field. Last night was like a run what you brung. So we had Pro Stocks that had late model tires on. I mean, we had a Pro Stock that had a big billboard wing on it. I mean, he was laughing everybody. It was pretty crazy. Had I known it was that night, I wouldn't even have went, but it's just kind of the way it went. So yeah, car took a beating, pretty good beating, and I'll try to see if I can get the video, and I'll put the video in here. I mean, it didn't look significant at all. I mean, it was a very minor wreck. The guy spun out in front of me, and I obviously had nowhere to go, so I tried to go high. Well, when I went high, there was a Pro truck on the right side of my car that I couldn't see. Well, what happened was my front left hit the guy that initially spun out in front of me, and it broke. All it did was break the tie rod, and so we had to wire it up just to get it loaded in the trailer. So broke that clean off, which that's all the damage that I've seen so far. So And then that guy that was on the right side of me, he just hit my left rear and he hit my tire and it moved forward. And I mean, and it shifted the whole rear axle like this. And so what happened was let's get down in here. So it spun, basically my shock mount got pushed all the way forward, and that brought this rear end, brought this driver's side rear all the way forward. I mean, right into this. And when it did that, it actually pulled my drive shaft, pulled the slip yoke out of the tail of the pulled it out of the tail of the transmission. And so, you know, the track guys were like, your rear end and front end are both fucked. They're both fucked. And here I am thinking, great, here's an end of my season. Well, they had to double lift me back to the pits. So I had tow trucks. I had a tow truck in the front and a tow truck in the back, and they just picked my whole car up. Well, I said, well, let me get out of this thing. And I got out, and, you know, your first initial look at everything, you're like, oh, great, it's going to cost money, whatever, you know, make that shit every day, no big deal, whatever. So we get it back to the pits, and they're like, hey, man, you know, we'll come back after the race, and we'll help you get it loaded in your trailer. Well, obviously, I'm not just going to sit there. So a good buddy of mine, Sam, he helped me get the rear end straightened out. And after we got in there, I mean, it looked bad. The spring was all contorted. Like, it bent a brand new rear shock. I mean, it looked bad. So, but then we figured out that it just twisted that rear shock mount and track bar and shock mount. It pulled the drive shaft out of the transmission. And I think it's still something's a little tweaked still. So I'm going to have to basically loosen everything and just get everything back in the spot where it's supposed to be. The rear end still looks like it's twisted a little bit. So I don't know if it bent something else. I'm just going to have to kind of look around and see what I can find. But as far as I can see, everything looks pretty good. We should be able to get it back out there next weekend if I want to. Honestly, I probably won't. I'll probably just get it fixed, and I've been wanting to get into asphalt racing, so who knows, maybe I'll just get this car back together, get the body straightened out the best I can, put a for sale tag on it, and see what happens. So if any of you guys are looking for a decent starter dirt car, I've got a real good one. I'd like to keep the motor in tranny, but I'll give you everything else, rear end. But I don't know, we'll see. We may or we may not. I might just run another year with this car. I'm undecided yet, but once I figure out exactly what's going on with this thing, I'll get back on here and get another video, and we'll go from there. It's been a fun season so far. I wish I would have posted more videos about it, but I mean, you guys, life happens as it does, and sometimes between work and this busy lifestyle of race car racing, I mean, you can't find the time sometimes. So I've got a lot of work to do if I want to get back out there next weekend. Again, I think I'll just take the next couple weeks off, and maybe I'll go do the last race or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I got to figure out what's going on with this thing first. Like I said, the rear end, after we got some parts taken off, we bumped it and it kind of, boom, settled itself back into place. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So as of right now, I got to get a new tie rod end, and probably going to have to get a new shock track bar mount. The spring looks to be okay. And then figure out why it still seems like it's a little twisted. Maybe it's just because of the way it's sitting in the rear end, but it definitely looks like it's twisted for sure. So maybe it's just where the track bar mount is. Maybe I just have it twisted too much. Maybe it just needs to be pushed back some more. So I don't know. I'm gonna mess with it and see what happens, and then we'll get back to it. So all right, thanks guys.
Turn of loose here. They approach turn 4, they pick up the pace. There's the green light.
right, there you go, guys. You saw it for yourself. Wasn't really a hard contact, really. You know, it just kind of, I'm sure I could have done a little bit better in avoiding that there, but given what I had, you know, you have two options, go left, go right, or stop, and stopping wasn't an option, so I decided to go right. You know, I didn't know that guy was on the outside of me, so that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. You know, you can't always make the right move, so it just sucks it was on the second lap, you know. That was like it was a run what you brung race anyway, so it wasn't like a points race or anything. Had I even known it was a run what you brung race, I probably wouldn't even have went, but I found out after I had drove the hour there and paid for my stuff and got the car unloaded, and I seen other pro stocks, and I was like, man, I didn't realize that they were running late model tires tonight. And then I saw another one with a big old billboard wing. You see it in the video. That dude was lapping everybody. Obviously helps a lot with aerodynamics and stuff. So, yeah, had I known it was that night, I probably wouldn't have went and raced, but I think it would have been fun. Just to put whatever you wanted on there. You could really do whatever you wanted. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, just for quick inventory, that left rear shock's gone. Tie rod end snapped right off. Upper ball joints bent. The shock in the front left is also broken. I lost a rim and I lost a brand new tire. Yeah, I just, you know, I don't know if I'm going to get it back together and go do another race. I think there's only a couple more races left anyway. I probably should fix it up and go take it out and make sure everything is good to go before, you know, who knows. I might try to sell the car and get that asphalt late model that I've had my eyes on. So it's a Sportsman late model, so who knows, we'll see. It's a roller, and I've got motors and transmissions and all that stuff for it, so maybe I'll get that, and maybe next season we'll be on some asphalt at Owasso Speedway in Michigan, in Owasso, Michigan, actually. So yeah, who knows? Stick around and maybe you'll see what happens next season. Maybe you won't. Hopefully y'all stick around with me. I'm trying to get better at posting videos. I'm trying to get better at you know, collecting content for you guys. So you know, just show me that you're here. You know, like the video, subscribe for me. If you like racing content, I'll make sure to get a whole lot more of it. I do music and stuff too. I got my TikTok, More Music 94. I post my music videos on there. I try to keep everything a little bit separated so it's not a big, you know, jumbled mess of fishing and all this stuff. So I got some fishing videos and stuff too, as you can see on my earlier videos here. So again, I'm going to try to get better at it. Stick with me, and I'll figure it out eventually. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you stuck to the end of the video, thank you so much, and we will catch you on the next one.